Coming this Halloween from SJS Direct, a darker shade of black, Spellbound. Get Spellbound, paperback or ebook at your favorite online bookseller this Halloween. I took offense to some statements that Lena Dunham and Amy Schumer made regarding black men. The statements that they made pretty much breathe new life into old racist stereotypes regarding black men and how desperate black men are for the attention of white females. Well, as a MGTOW black man, I can tell you that any black man with standards would not want to pay any attention to either Lena Dunham or Amy Schumer because both of these females are so basic and so lame that if you walked right by them on the street, you would just keep on walking because they're not worth paying 10 seconds worth of attention to. Now, your Lena Dunham earlier in the week got upset because basketball player or former basketball player Lamar Odom decided not to pay her any attention. And she got all upset and started acting out on social media and the media because this guy pretty much blew her off. And he was right to blow this female off because she's not worth paying any attention to at all. Your Lena Dunham is deeply troubled and deeply disturbed. And why would a guy like Lamar Odom even pay her any attention when he's got his own issues with drug addiction and other health related issues that he would want to focus on? Why would he want to deal with a dysfunctional female when he's trying to work out issues in his own personal life? So, this female's desperate attempt for attention, it pretty much shows how narcissistic and selfish she truly is. That she doesn't look at this man's personal issues and understand that he's got a lot more on his plate than to deal with her and her dysfunction and her need for attention. Now, this is the type of white female that was the type that would got many black men murdered and lynched back in the old days of Jim Crow because in her desperate attempt for attention, she's going to act out and try to polarize people like your white male simps and your white knights to try to get them to come to the rescue of her, all for her desperate need for attention. That's what makes this type of female extremely dangerous to be involved with because her toxic behaviors can put a black man's life at risk. And her attempts to try to get this man in trouble, basically for not paying her, the so called beautiful white woman, some attention, are extremely dangerous behaviors. When you look at this Lena Dunham, she basically is, again, a toxic female. And this white woman pretty much is dangerous to be around because she's the type who will do anything to get attention. And for her to sink into the gutter like this shows us what a predator she truly is. And you look at this Lena Dunham, this land whale, this bust down. She thinks she's the hottest thing since sliced bread. If I saw this chick walking down the street here in New York City, she's no one I'd pay any attention to, and she's no one I would really even concern myself with, because this type of female, again, not worth the time. If you saw her, she's a dime a dozen with her average looks and her average face and her really lame personality. So there's no reason for anybody to pay attention to her, and these stunts show why men should basically avoid a toxic female like your Lena Dunham. Now I'm going to get into your Amy Schumer. Now your Amy Schumer, this so-called comedian who is not very funny, decided to say that black men would be making cat calls at her, and I have to say to that, I wouldn't pay her any attention too. And here in New York City, again, she's an average-looking dime a dozen land whale that I've seen 100 times walking down the block in the South Bronx, or when I was working back in my times in Manhattan. In Manhattan, that type of chick we've seen 100 times here in New York City, and you could walk right by them and pay them absolutely no attention. And again, she was trying to make a desperate call to get attention to herself because she knows that if she makes a statement about black men, again, the white knights and the white male simps are going to come out here and try to defend her honor. What I'm thinking nowadays, if there are more men who are out here MGTOW, they would look at this and go, these chicks, again, are trying to get attention, trying to cause drama, and they're not going to come out and defend them because MGTOWs will look at this and go, this is garbage, this is nonsense, and this is, again, another female trying desperately to get attention for herself by calling out black men because she believes that black men are so low on the totem pole that they are going to be the ones making catcalls to her. Basically, the only guys who would pay a chick like your Amy Schumer any attention are your simps, your white knights, and your manginas. Every other guy is going to be like me, just walking down the street, not even caring about these females. Because I've even seen nines, tens, and I've walked right by them because I could care less about them. Because my time is too precious to waste paying attention to these females. My time is more focused on the goals I want to achieve and the things I want to accomplish. Because I understand that time is precious, and every second I spend focusing on nonsense is time I could be focused on things that could take me to the next level. When I look at females like your Amy Schumer and your Lena Dunham, I see pathetic bust downs who want to try to get attention from men, and they'll do anything to do it, even things like trying to polarize people based on race, thinking that and insulting people like black men by saying that we are so low in our standards that we will sit there and pay attention to any white female basically because she has white skin. Well, I'm sorry to say this, but there we black men have higher standards than that. Many of us are not willing to settle for less. Many of us have high standards regarding any woman we get involved with, regardless of race, and we don't need to pay attention to any female just because she is white. Many of us are not going to sit here and take out the trash in the white community all because it has white skin. Many of us are going to sit here and say these females have to bring something to the table if we would get involved with them, such as character, attitude, personality, and core values in order for us to even think about paying them any attention. The only guys, again, who would pay a white woman like Lena Dunham or Amy Schumer any attention, again, are these simps, manginas, white knights, and other assorted dysfunctional black males that are considered to be their standard, but that's not the standard for black manhood, black masculinity, and black men, such as myself. We have a higher standard, and when we look at bust downs like your Lena Dunham and Amy Schumer, we say, let them go on and take a trip right back to bust downtown because we have no time for these kind of clowns. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.